Hey, good morning, students. All right, what I'm about to show you is a PowerPoint presentation, a very brief one that I made, and show you one way that you could do the assignment. All right here is a short PowerPoint presentation that I made for explaining the nursing process. I'm sharing my screen with you, so I'm gonna hit the play button on the PowerPoint. I'm using two screens, so when you see me looking back and forth, you know why. So I'm going to start the presentation from the beginning. Now, all you're able to see here is a slide presentation, so I'm going to share a different screen with you. I'm going to share my primary screen so that you can see what I'm looking at. Now, instead of you looking at the PowerPoint presentation, which is over on this screen, you're looking at my presenter's notes. So this is one way that you can do it. And if you share the screen with me, I can see what you have. Okay, expected outcomes. This is not an area where I don't like reading a PowerPoint, but this is one area where I do. So the expected outcomes for the learner. At the end of the presentation, students going to be able to identify the parts of the nursing process, understand each part, blah, 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 understand interventions and rationales, understand each process in a given situation. In other words, this is just telling my learner what I'm going to expect them to be able to do by the end of this presentation. So now, brief history in the nursing process. All right, who developed it? And if you're looking on my screen over here, you can see my presenter's notes. What I'm showing over on this screen, if I were actually doing a presentation, they would just be seeing what you're seeing now. But I'm going to share back with you my presenter's notes. And my notes are down here in this corner. All right, it gives the information that I'm going to talk about on the slide, but when they're looking at it, what they're seeing is just the outline, because again, you don't want to sit there and read your PowerPoint. That's just bad for everybody, and too many people do that. Okay, so steps of the process, and again, we're going through. I use some animations just to keep people going, and it makes them a little more lively than just flashing stuff up on there. And then I try to use pictures whenever I can. Okay, and again, down here, you're seeing the stuff that I would be talking about, and this just gives me some information to discuss what my slide is about. All right, and again, down here, if you look over at what the students are seeing, they're seeing this, okay? And then I'm looking over here, I'm looking over here for my information that I'm talking about while I'm presenting this slide, and that's the stuff that they're going to be taking notes on. Now, when I'm giving a class, this is the information where I'm going to be pulling my test questions from. Okay, so now back to this one over here. Anyway, you can see how I'm doing this. It's not real difficult. So I'm going to skip through these so that you can see what's going on. And this is just the PowerPoint presentation. And this is just one method that you can use to present PowerPoint in your lectures. You know, the lecture that you're going to be doing for the presentation. Let me escape out of this. If you have any questions on that, just drop me an email. Add a question in the Q&A section, and I think we'll be good. If you guys want to, we can actually have a Zoom meeting where we can all get together if that works for you guys, and we can talk about it. That's what my goal is, to make sure you guys know how to do this and can do it effectively. All right, have a good day.